Alright guys, what I'm going to do here is show you how you can make a pretty good quality video on YouTube using a simple device called an IRIG. I don't have a computer and I don't have anything that's too technical. You can use an amp or any processor, and let me walk you through exactly what I do. So I start off using my atomic amplifier, which is a great pedal because it has loads of effects, cabinets, and amplifier heads. So that's the bulk of my sound. I'm not using a real amp for any of this stuff. I'm using the atomic. So the atomic is going to start with the bulk head and cabinet sum effects, but what I like to do is I run my pod in addition to the atomic with a 4-cable method. So I set this pod without any amp or cab sim, and I'm using it for additional effects only. So I'll use a phaser, an extra screamer, a plate reverb, a delay, and the wah. What's great about this pod is that it has a master volume, and I could set the atomic to a certain percentage, and then if I go to a clean channel, I usually use the clean on the pod, and I could set the dirty channel with the same volume by just switching to another preset. So that's the bulk of the sound, and then I'll run headphones to the pod. Right now I'm using wireless headphones, and if you see some of my previous videos, I've been using headphones with wires, but now these wireless just make it look much cleaner, and it's a lot easier to move around, and you don't see a wire hanging off the guy. So that's the headphone. The input for the guitar, I'm running with this new Line 6 wireless device. So that's getting plugged into my guitar, just like you would plug in any guitar from an amp, but this one's wireless. And then that's going into the pod. Going into the pod also is my classic iPod, which allows me to play with the actual track and set the levels so I'm not too high or too low. So that's going into the MP3 input of the pod. Now the output that you would basically plug into an amplifier is going to go out into the phone. So here is the phone, and I'm using the IRIG out from the pod into the phone, and I'm using the camera app that's just on the iPhone, nothing special. After the video's done, then I'll edit it with a different app, cropping, adding some effects, etc. So that's pretty much it. If you were going to use an amp, you would just go out of your amp into the IRIG and then right into the phone. But there's no sound in this room because everything is done through headphones, and I tried probably about 1.5 years ago, before I messed around with this stuff. I would play the MP3 through a real speaker, and then I would play to the song with another amp, and it just sounded horrible because it was, you know, real life. This stuff is just all done with headphones and the IRIG. So this IRIG is the first generation. I think you could buy one for $30, $40, maybe less. And it's going right into the phone. And let me just show you the guitar that I'm using. I used this one yesterday in a video. It's a 1987 BC Rich ST3. It used to be black. I think in 91, when I saw Nuno, I stripped it because I fell in love with his bare bones, just simple guitar. So I ended up buying a Warmoth neck for it in 91, and it's still with me today. It's one of my favorite guitars. It's got an Evolution, and I added that D tuner, which makes life a lot easier if you want to do drop D. So hopefully you will get something out of this. If you have any questions, I went pretty fast. Feel free to leave a comment and subscribe for more. And at the end of this video, I'll show you the results I'm getting. Thank you and have a great day.